You've taken hundreds of photos, you've uploaded them, you've edited them, and now comes the chore of labeling and exporting and organizing all of your images. Are you already dreading the painstaking and time-consuming task of sorting, labeling, and exporting to share your images? Stay tuned for my simple Lightroom export sauce. Hi, Monique Renee here, photographer at Silver Paw Studio, and this is Bailey. Hi, Bay. And on this channel, I like to share tips and tricks to photograph, shelter, and rescue animals, give you tips for improving the snapshots of your pets, and share some pro photographer insights. If that all sounds awesome to you, be sure to, ready, Bay? Paw the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And if this is interesting to you, it might be interesting to a friend, so be sure to share it out too. I volunteered to photograph adoptable animals for 5 years at the shelters, and my workflow and organization has grown and evolved over those years, but I can help jumpstart you on that organizational path. So that's what this video is for today. About 2 years ago, I assisted Lightroom Humane Society in setting up their new camera room. Part of that setup was working on a workflow that could work for the many different volunteer photographers that they have there. Bye, Bailey. We wanted the workflow for the image editing to be consistent and easy and simple, but still repeatable and have all the information needed. That's when I first came across the feature in Lightroom called Export Presets. As soon as I learned that, I quickly created several for my business, and mostly because I wanted to have different resolutions for different uses once they're exported, or maybe different logos or different writing on the image, or whatever else I wanted to apply on export every time to certain groups of images. I want to concentrate on images that I've taken at shelters. This is when I most often use this Lightroom export feature. The first thing I do when I get back to the office is upload all of the images into Lightroom, and I do my speedy editing process. And if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it around here somewhere. It's where I edit 106 images in only 16 minutes. So be sure to check that out and then watch the rest of this video. Here we can see all of the kitties that I photographed at the cat rescue this week, all done and edited, ready for export. And this is how I used to export all of the images. I would look at the list I had on my phone of which kitty was which, and I would click here and okay, that's 2 kitties, and then I'd say export, right click, export, export, and then I would figure out where to put it. Same folder as original, maybe put it in a subfolder that says edited, and then I'd come down here and let's rename it to, you know, maybe this is Fluffy and Fort Collins Cat Rescue and my name, and then I would figure out the rest of these, and then I would say export, and I would do that with each one. So okay, we're going to go over here to these kitties, right click, export. Okay, so now this is going to be Bernie, and we're going to export him. All right, great. Go those 2, right click, export, and we're going to put in here Sophie. So you could see how I'd have to go through each individual kitty or dog. That's what I did every single week for a pretty long time. Here's all I do now is I Control A, grab all of the images. You can see I have them starred. These are the ones I want to export, and I have an export preset where all I have to do is right click, export, export, and I have a preset that pulls up with all of these fields entered exactly how I want them to be. Now I'm going to show you how I do that. Here is the best part about this system is you just have to type in their name over in the library module in the metadata fields. So this kitty, we're gonna shift click in the library mode, press G for grid, and you're gonna go over to title, and let's say this kitty's name was Fluffy. And that's what we're gonna type in the title field right here on the sidebar in the library mode of metadata. So Fluffy, and since these are both highlighted in the library mode, you can see Fluffy pulls up on both of them. And let's say this one, what do we call this kitty? We go to title, and let's just say this kitty's name is Bernie. And then we're gonna say maybe this kitty's name, obviously I'd have a list, right? This is Sophie. What should this kitty's name be? Stripes. I'm pretending I'm 4 and naming these kitties. Oh, this one was actually named Vino. So I'm just selecting all of the images of that kitten, going to the metadata, title, and typing in Vino. That is step number 1 to creating your preset, and this is what you'll change every time you have a new set of images. Now let's say we want to grab all of these and export them all at once. Grab them all, Control A, Command A I believe on a Mac, and then we're going to go to export again. Then we're going to put in all of the fields that we want. So you could say this could be, I like to put the date on everything, 05/22/2019, Fort Collins Cat Rescue, SNC, edited. So this field, of course, I'll change every time. And then I'm going to come down to the custom name. And this gets interesting. So what we're going to do is click on this little pull down, and we're going to say edit. So in this edit field, this looks similar to what you would use in, say, a mail merge document or a Word document merging system. Each one of these in the brackets is a different field. What we want to do is make sure this is in the order we want. We can rearrange this, but you'll come down in here. What we want is that title. Remember, in the metadata, we chose title. That's going to be the animal's name. Insert that. See how it goes right into there? And then we want to say what we want to have next. So maybe it's going to be custom text, or for this one, it's going to be Fort Collins Cat Rescue, Spay Neuter Clinic. That we want to show up every single time in this one. And then we're going to have a custom text. So I think, you don't have to, you can choose any of these things here. See how image name has all of these options? All of these boxes are options. And I want to put in here, I'm going to take that out, and I don't want that either. So let's just start with a clean slate. We've put the title in, right? We've put the cat rescue in. I want to put that it's my studio, Silver Studio, and I do want to keep track of the original file number, so I've inserted that as well, and I want a little space there or else there won't be a space, so be sure you put a little space in there. Here in the custom settings we have title, and you can see how the example here is showing up with Fluffy, then the words that we just typed in here, whatever you want to put in here. You don't have to put your studio name. I like to have the shelter name in there. And then I also do like the original file number in case I ever need to look that up again. And so then you can see the example here works out really great. And then we say done. Keep going down this list. This is not a video. How big what kind of file do you want? And then we're going to come down here. This is where you can play around with if this is going to be social media ready or print ready, specific dimensions, things like that. I generally just choose the long edge, how big I want it. Let's say 1,000 pixels. That's pretty good size actually. And I like 150 to 200 resolution. They could actually print these in a little size. And I'm not going to change any of sharpening. I'm not going to change any of the metadata. What I do want to do is add a watermark. And that's where I just have my logo in the bottom corner. And I know a lot of people are in Hearts Speak, and it's Artists Helping Animals. And if you're a member of that, you have access to the logos that you can also put on your images. So I want to show you just how you would put in a logo, and you can actually have this as a preset too. So you go down to watermarking and edit watermarks. And image options. So you could do text or graphics, and then you're going to choose, and there it is. I've already chosen that. I put it in a folder, I can find it pretty easy. And then you can move it around. You can change the opacity. It's pretty small. There we go. You can change the opacity. Let's see. Change where it's at. Oh, rotate. We need to rotate this thing. Okay. So that's pretty cool, right? So you can make it bigger and smaller. I've put the shelter information and the studio information in there already. And then we want to save that. And you can name that preset Heart Speak upper right, and that's what I want to do. Once you have all of these set, then what you want to do is over here on the side say add. So this is going to be under user presets. This is going to be, let's say this will be the Fort Collins, oops. This will be the Fort Collins Cat Rescue Heart Speak. Export. All right, so then we say create, and you can see how it pulled over into this column. Make sure you go to the add. Now you're ready. You just say export, and all of these get exported. You can see the status bar right here. We're exporting 14 files. So you can see next time, if I just want to, let me just take all of these again, and next time we go to export, you can see over here on the side, we have different export settings. So let's go to a whole different thing, and then we'll go back to HeartSpeak export, and you can see all of these are back. We have, this is Fluffy's name, the cat rescue, my studio, image number, the right exact size that we want, the watermark that we want. The only thing I'm gonna have to change is I like to have the date in here, so I would change this date right here, but that's it. Now let's go take a look at the actual images. Here we are, here's the cat rescue, and inside that there's the edited folder. Pull up Bernie here, and you can see how his name Bernie is right here, and the logo is right there. And all of them have their own names, Sophie, Vino. And I think that's kind of cute going over his ear like that. The key for me here with the adoptable animals that you want to name individually is to use one of the fields in the metadata. I just like title, it's right at the top, and it's self-explanatory. You could put in many of those fields in there, but I suggest just go with title in the metadata. There are many other uses to creating different export presets. You don't have to have every single image individually named like this, but maybe you just want one that says grand opening of the doggy daycare. Maybe you went and photographed that event, and you just want every time you photograph an event for it to have the same settings. Maybe they're all going to be social media ready, they're going to have your logo sized exactly like this, maybe some sharpening, and going to go in this specific folder for an upload to them. You can create a preset, an export preset. It could be even as simple as this is the export preset for social media res and style, and here's an export for print ready. Maybe you're print ready, you're not going to put a logo on. What do you think? Do you think you'll create some export presets? Do you already have some export presets? Either way, type in the comments. We would all love to know. If you have a different way you're using the Lightroom export presets, I'd love to know that too. I'm always looking to learn. As you know, these programs are super robust. And so the more hints and tips and tricks and shortcuts we can share with each other, the easier and quicker our workflows will be. I hope this video helped you organize your export workflow. That was the point. And if you're wondering, there is import presets too. It works really similar. I can do a whole nother video on import presets if you'd ever like. Type that in the comments as well, and I'll get to work on it. If you enjoy the videos on this channel, make sure that ready, bae? You paw the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And as always, I wish you many whoops, purrs, and TREATS's.
Our little YouTube closing. Ready? Okay. Right, babe? Wait. Make sure you paw the subscribe button.